on our YouTube channel. Search for the City of Bruceville-Eddy and click the subscribe button. Please mute your phones and computers to avoid any interference during this meeting. Thank y'all for all being here. We appreciate it. I love seeing all kinds of people out here. Normally we see just regular people that are here all the time. Yeah, y'all just regular. I mean, you're just regular. But it's good to see new faces, so I want to thank you all for being here. Even the regulars, we want to thank you for being here. If y'all would please stand for prayer. Our Heavenly Father, we thank you for everything that you do for us in our life. We know that without you, we would not even be here. Lord, I want to say special thanks to our 911 people, our first responders, our fire department, our police department. I want to thank you for all the city workers because they're here every day, 8 to 5, trying to make your city that you have given us to make it a better place for all the citizens. We thrive on that every day. We just want to make sure that things are done correctly to the best of our ability. I want to thank you for our council members because with these men and women up here, then they wouldn't get much done. Let me tell you, they work really hard. They're very dedicated people. So I just want to say thank you, Lord God, for everything that you do for all of us. And I want to thank you for all of our citizens. I pray for the ones that are not here with us today, that they are well and are able to listen in on us to make sure that we at least stand and back them up. You know, that's just what we do. We just want to make everything a better place in our city. I ask for all these things in the precious name of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God and one indivisible. You may have a seat, please. Okay, I want to my left here, I have Councilman Wiggins, Councilman McGruer, and our city administrator, Kent Manton. And to my left, at the end, we have Councilman Griffin. And Mr. Prater is, oh, bless his heart, he's having a rough time. He's on a cruise. So, you know, God love him. But we miss him anyway. And we have Councilwoman Mrs. McLaughlin. And then in the back we have our Chief of Police, Michael Dorsey. And we have our Officer Kate. It is, I just never can remember your name. I see you all the time in front of my house stopping all those people. And then also want to Pam Combs, our city secretary, and Jamie, she is our water department. And that's all of the ones that are here. No speakers or anything that we know of. We do have one speaker. Yeah, well, but not out here yet. Yeah. So I want to thank all of y'all for being here. Okay, citizens presentation. The City Council welcomes public comments at this point on items not specifically listed on the agenda. Speakers must sign up before the meeting begins. Speakers are limited to 5 minutes each. The council cannot respond to these matters, nor listed on the agenda until a further future meeting. And we have one, and it's Mr. Brent McCain, if you would come up, sir.
I'll do mine later, at another meeting.
Oh, at another meeting, so you're pulling it. Okay, all right. Okay, do we have anybody else that wants to has signed up that we know of? No, okay. Moving right along. Number 3, sanitary sewer system update. City Administrator, Council to retrieve and report on the status of a second USDA funding package for this sanitary sewer system. Okay.
Mayor, Council, citizens of Bruceville-Eddy, thank you so much for your time this evening. I wanted to give you a brief update on where we are with the sewer system. So just a couple reminders for everybody. To date on this project, we have not received any money from any external agency for this project. We have, however, been working over the past 2 years to secure additional funding from various sources to no avail. We are still waiting further information from a potential congressional appropriations funding package that may be able to help fund an additional phase for this project, but that is still subject to Congress and their blessing, and we probably will not hear back on that for many, many months. As of 6/3/2024, all information needed for underwriting of a second funding package has been submitted to the USDA National Office. So if you'll remember, after that last council meeting on May the 23rd, immediately began working on that second package, got that over to Terry, our loan officer. We had a little bit of back and forth, had to provide quite a bit of additional information, but since then they have pushed that up to Washington, D.C. for further review, and we are on standby for the word to move forward with those numbers. The only hard timeline that we have at this point is that a decision has to be made by 6/18. So USDA has informed us that they could potentially have a very tight turnaround for additional approvals on this project. So to prepare for that, we have posted notice for 2 additional meetings this month. This is kind of unusual. I've got our council working hard. We've got a meeting every week of this month. But we've posted for 6/12 and 6/17, both at 6 p.m., and those are just to give us some flexibility. You know, the Open Meetings Act does require us to post those meetings at least 72 hours in advance. So assuming, let's say tomorrow Terry gets us the information, we know how much loan and grant we're getting, we can begin to develop those rate structures to provide council with the additional information. Well, she says we need information back within 2 business days or 3 business days. At least this is already posted, and council can make take further action without us having to scramble and to make sure we're meeting those timelines. I will have that estimated rate structure for the selected connections at that time once I receive the additional grant and loan allocation from USDA. So with that, I'll answer any questions that you might have. Otherwise, y'all can move on to the next agenda item.
Does anyone have any questions? Mr. Wiggins, you're reaching for your mic.
No, I don't have
Oh, no, you don't have any questions.
I'm gonna
Okay.
make that motion,
Somebody
no.
out there.
Okay.
A man raised his hand.
Who raised their hand? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Can you come up to the mic, sir? I'm sorry. We're on. We have it on YouTube, so people at home, they can't hear you if you're sitting over there. Sorry.
And if you would, just turn on that microphone.
you'll have to turn
I
it on.
apologize. I think I forgot to do that.
Thank you, sir.
Should see a little green light.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm John Coleman. I live at 320 Franklin Road here in Eddy. What seems to be the main stumbling block up there, or dam, so to speak, that nobody has, from Congress down, has not really seemed to cared about even getting part of a ball rolling on this, as far as the sewer system has been going on for quite a long time.
Yes, sir. It has been going on a long time. There were multiple steps that we had to follow from USDA.
Yeah, I realize what those are.
Sure. Yeah, they're quite lengthy, but we've got all those addressed, and we're just waiting from the USDA National Office, the staff for USDA, to give us another yay or nay on a second funding package and what makeup that might look like. And council's going to be making some difficult decisions this month on the sewer system, but I am excited to say that we've got to a very significant point with the sewer system.
All right, I just wonder if it's going to go as far as having to wait till we get another Republican administration.
Sir, I
think
can't
so on
speak
that.
to that.
Yeah.
Well, our Congressman Pete Sessions has been helping us.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Well, I know Mr. Sessions.
Yes, he has been helping.
He's been helping us.
Yes, he really
And it's
has.
just a matter, I mean, if we'd had the money and could have got the hold of the money where it wasn't going to cost everybody an arm and a leg, it'd have probably done been done, but it's just we're trying our best to get as many grants as we can so that way we don't have to pay that, the city don't have to pay that back, because if the city has to pay that back, that means the citizens are going to be helping us pay it back.
Right. and I
So
would
we're
guess
trying, Yeah, we're
Yeah, I
just,
would guess interest rates right now are
yes, sir.
strangling.
And that's mainly what's holding y'all all up. But we should know something here real soon.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else have any questions? If not, Mr. Wiggins, I think, has a motion.
Okay, I'll make I'll move to postpone the action on ordinance 6-6-2024-2 to either our June the 12th or 17th, 2024 special call meeting to be taken up in conjunction with action on the second funding package from USDA.
And just point of
Okay.
clarity on this one, we've got a motion and a second. This is going to be for agenda item number,
Four.
that's correct, that's for 4. And on number 3, we took no action, so, okay, good to go.
Okay. And all in favor? Oh, Mr. McGruer. Okay. All right, so we're moving right along to 5.
Yes, ma'am.
Ordinance authorizing insurance of certificates of obligation, Series 2024B. Council discuss, consider, and possible adopt ordinance 066-20243, authorizing the insurance of the city of Bruceville-Eddy, Texas, combination tax and revenue certificates of obligation, Series 2024B, for a new sanitary sewer system. Okay.
And council, I'll just say that our bond attorney did ask, since we had initially posted that these certificates of obligations would be potentially adopted tonight, they requested these motions to make sure that we're letting the minutes reflect that we did move this until the next date.
Yes.
Okay. With that said, I'll move to postpone action on ordinance 6-6-2024-3 to either our June the 12th or 17th, 2024 special call meeting to be taken up in conjunction with action on the second funding package from USDA.
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor? Unanimous. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, public hearing, okay, on a public hearing, I need to close. Okay, it is now 6:13 and our regular session, council meeting is closed. It is 6:13 and we have opened up the public hearing. Conditional use permit application for 701 4th Street. Council to hear public comments pertaining to a requested conditional use permit for a manufactured home to be installed at 701 4th Street in Eddy, Texas, 76524. Mrs. Clark's addition, a property currently zoned for single-family residential dwelling. Okay. Is she here?
Just any members of the public at this time?
Okay, yeah, does anybody have anything they want to talk about? We just listening, and anybody has anything they want to say about it? Nope. Okay. All right. Oh, yes, sir.
Is there a plating or anything we can look at?
Yes, sir. I'll bring up a presentation after the public hearing is closed.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm here every time there's anything going on 4th Street. I'm Judy Mullis, and I have property at 702 4th Street. And so this modular home, manufactured home, mobile home, whatever it might be, is going to be right across the street from us. You know, I was here when, for the public hearing for the manufactured home park, which was probably 3 or 4 houses down the street from us. My son lives in the house. He says he doesn't have a problem with it, but, you know, I don't know. It's weird because those properties over there, they were divided up. I think that property was divided up into 8 lots, and I don't guess it really matters, you know, that they're $50,000, $75,000 for a lot, and there are 2 or 3 houses, new houses, brand new beautiful houses that have been built over there. And I just can't imagine that none of those neighbors are here to say, I don't want that next to my house. But I don't want that. I think a few years ago, the city had like a different attitude about modular homes. I know the lady that she wasn't here, but her neighbor was, when talking about the modular home park, manufactured home park. And he had stated that several years ago, she had requested that she be able to move the older mobile home off and buy a new one, and she was denied that, so she fixed it all up. And now it seems like, every month or so there's somebody wanting to rezone, I don't know if it's rezoned or not, from single family to a modular home, manufactured home. So I just don't know. I mean, I physically live in Mackey Ranch subdivision, and I pass mobile home down Mackey Ranch to get to my house. And there are some that, they look really nice, or some that they really don't look that nice. If they're granted this, if this is approved, I mean, at some point, that can be there forever. Is that correct? And 2 or 3 other lots that are for sale, they can do the same thing. So it'll, instead of building houses, they'll end up just putting manufactured homes there. And I always feel like a hypocrite because my husband and I have been married forever. And when we first got married, we lived in a mobile home. But, it's scary when all the tornadoes come through. And like I say, if it's not kept up, I don't want anybody, as long as my son's there, that's fine. But if, he moves on somewhere and we rent it from somebody else, they may not want to look at a modular home out their front door all the time. So that's my opinion. I don't guess anybody else cares, so thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
This is Cherie McGrewer. I believe that the city already has an ordinance that says no more modular homes in the city. So I don't understand, I guess, why I agree with her. Every month or so it comes up that somebody's asking for a variance on this. If we have an ordinance, I think we should stick to the ordinance that we have in place.
Anybody else have any more opinions?
Yes, ma'am. I'll bring that up here in just a minute after public hearing is finished up.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Yes, sir.
I don't like the idea of waiting till after a public meeting's over with when we need to have that information up front ahead of time. That's getting the cart before the horse. And last time we voted on it, I remember Mr. Wiggins brought that up and got it seconded. We all voted, because there were so many of us that were against it.
Okay. This is our public hearing, so right now we're listening, we're taking in comments and stuff, and then when we close the public hearing, then we'll open it back up, and then we'll have other things to show and talk about, and we can discuss, and we can talk back, give you explanations and listen and, communicate between each other. Okay. Mr. Wiggins?
I don't see why we can't have the map up. I mean, why do we have to wait till the public hearing's over with before we can even put a map up? I don't agree with that.
Ms. Pham, you have a question?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Yeah, we're waiting for the public hearing to be over.
Did you?
or-
Do you think we need to enter that into
Into
the
the public hearing?
record? Is what you're saying?
Since we're having to put the map up, yeah.
Sure.
All right, we'll go ahead and read that, okay?
Give me just 1 second.
All right.
Is this letter from a citizen or something that has to do with, okay. Yeah, I think it ought to be entered into this section.
Okay, we did receive one comment electronically for this conditional use permit. It is from Miss Jana Haney. The email was sent Mr. and Mrs. Rangel last night. They plan to install their new house closer to the road than further back. We support the plan. landowner also turned in their letter that they received as a part of this conditional use permit, and they wrote at the bottom here, Clay and Jana Haney at 613 4th Street approved the manufactured home at 701 4th Street. And that is all.
Because several letters were sent out. Was this not correct?
That is correct, Mayor.
And this is the only one that responded, that lives over there.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Yes, ma'am?
Carol Lance, 717 West Third. Do we not, as a city, have an ordinance that states that there are no mobile homes or manufactured homes within city limits?
So if council's okay with that, I'll go ahead and address this concern. So there's three separate definitions of some of these non-site built homes that we have on record. We have the mobile home, we have a manufactured home, and we have modular housing. So the mobile homes are completely banned within the city limits. They're actually banned by state law as well. Those are anything that was built prior to 1974, I believe. So if you kind of remember, you see some of them still hanging around in the county. They have the axle and the wheels still attached to them. They can be pretty easily hooked up to a truck and removed, right? Just take off any siding that you have. After that, HUD approved the definition of a manufactured house, which is what this conditional use permit is for. Those are set on site, then they're, the wheels and axles, if any, are taken off completely. Tie downs are installed, and then the manufactured home is kind of what you're more familiar with. Modular housing is a little bit different than that. That's built in several different sections, sent to the site, and then all assembled right there on location. So our ordinance does address each one of those. The manufactured and modular homes are zoned only in certain sections within the city of Bruceville-Eddy. So you're thinking Soul Circle, our Park Lake subdivision, they're allowed by right there by our zoning ordinance. We do have a conditional use permit process for anybody who wants to install a modular home or a manufactured home in a residential area that's zoned for single-family housing. So that's on a case-by-case basis at council's discretion. They have to submit a permit application with a fee. We have to send out legal notices, all of the property owners surrounding them, and we also have to publish that in the paper. So does that kind of explain the process and the variances?
It does
here?
kind of explain it.
Yes, ma'am.
But I think allowing one to be put in a property in our area that is not manufactured, not mobile homes, not modular, is going to cause a reason for others to have a desire to do the same. And I disagree with allowing them to do this.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Oh, got one more back.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Microphone, please.
If you could come up.
The letter that you said you had, they're going to put it closer to the road rather than in the back. Is that correct? Is that what?
That was the comment that was received. I think
Right,
we'll have to
so-
wait to hear from the property owner before they say the specific location.
It will be this section of it rather than back here in the lighter section, correct?
Well, I would recommend that the mayor kind of move to close the public hearing.
Yeah,
And
after
after
the
that,
public hearing.
I can
I
provide
can't-
my presentation.
I can't
and
do
then
anything until we close.
That might be the best approach. And then
Okay.
council will have another discussion, and if they please, they can invite other folks up to speak on this
Okay,
behalf, if that works okay.
All right. It is now 6:25 and the public hearing is closed. It is now 6:25 and our regular council meeting is back open. Conditional use permit manufactured home, 701 4th Street. Council discuss, consider, and probably take action on a request by Juvenile and Laura Rangel for a conditional use permit for a manufactured home to be installed at 701 4th Street in Eddy, Texas, 76524. Parkside Division, a property currently zoned for single-family residential dwelling. Okay, Kent?
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, ma'am. So we did have a request to install this manufactured house on a property zoned single-family dwelling District 3. This property is inconsistent and contrary to our current zoning map established in 2003, which designates this property and adjacent properties for single-family dwellings. This proposed use is, however, consistent with our comprehensive plan, which designates this property and those surrounding for residential housing in general. Our conditional use permit process allows for uses contrary to the zoning map with council approval. And you can see here, this is a map of the tract of the property. This is one of those 8 lots that was subdivided, 2 or 3 years ago as part of Parkside.
Yes.
And you will see this is the general location that we understand the property owners will want to install that manufactured home. They are here tonight, and we can invite them up to speak to this if there's any additional questions. Here's some pictures of the property. And this is the surrounding area here on 4th Street, looking both northwest and southeast. This is the desired housing style. The applicants did say that they would be looking for a different color scheme, though. So the site plan and designated specifications were not, that we received were lacking in detail a little bit. There are 2 manufactured homes that are currently located, legal non-conforming, on adjacent properties along 4th Street towards I-35. So generally, this proposal would be inconsistent with the neighborhood and the road, but there are a couple variances to that. A conditional use permit, it will go with the land. However, it can be revoked by council following the same process for the amendment. So as required by state law and our zoning ordinance, proper notice of this application and hearing were published in the Waco Tribune-Herald. 12 notices were sent out to adjacent property owners, and we received that 1 letter in support of the conditional use permit. My recommendation on here is none. With that, I'll address any questions that you might have.
Now, does anyone have any questions that they would like some feedback on? Yes, sir. I ain't gonna guarantee it'll be good feedback, but we're gonna try.
I would just like to know with that, because we don't have sewer systems here, I know they're gonna have to update to the newer sprinkler system and all. I'm trying to look and think for where that is. How close is that property to the creek back there?
It's hard to say from this map.
Yeah. Have you been over on 4th Street?
Ma'am?
Do you know over on 1st Street, you know where the concrete or the rock pillars or that gate-looking thing is? It's right there to the side
Yeah,
of it.
but I know that creek comes, that creek comes east and west across there, and I know it comes in behind where I live and all. And from the flooding problems and all that we've had and have had in the past about, I don't want any more sewer system to run into the creeks, and then that we smell that a good part of the year every time south wind blows.
Yes, sir. Well, I can say that we do contract with McLennan County Public Health District, and they're the ones responsible for permitting any new on-site sewage facilities. So I would assume that anything that gets installed there is going to be top of the line, the newest that
Yeah, I understand all that because I deal with it all the time. So.
Yes, sir.
But I think a study should be done because of the creek back there and flooding conditions and all. I want to know that I'm not going to smell that stuff anymore, that it's not going to bring down property values, that there has to be an ordinance, in my opinion, that they have to upkeep everything. It can't just be falling apart. Keep up to good standards and all. But I know how that goes in a lot of the mobile home and trailer parks that I've worked with. You have part of the people who'll do what's necessary, and you have part of the people that'll turn it into dump ground.
Yes,
So,
sir. Yes, sir. Well, in the past year or so, we've had a few manufactured homes come into the city limits of Bruceville-Eddy, but they've all been nice ones, and they've been well kept and maintained, and We do have code enforcement that does go around and check on these places, not just manufactured homes, but homes, you know, because nowadays, most of your manufactured homes, you're looking anywhere between $80,000 to $300,000 for a manufactured home, so, you know.
I realize that, but, I can't believe anybody paid that for that,
Yes, sir.
19 years are gone.
Yes, sir. Okay. Does anybody else have any other questions or comments or anything?
So this
It's-
property,
It's 6 lots, 6
let me pull
lots.
that up real quick.
Are the owners here?
They are.
The owners here?
Are the owners are here? Yes, sir.
Ask them how big it is.
This
Miss
property-
Pam? It's a little over 2.5 acres.
Got it. 2.594
Yeah,
acres.
it's
to
a
be
pretty
exact.
good size.
Mayor, would you like to invite the
Yeah,
property owners
would the
up and
property
see if
owners
they'd
like to come up
speak
and
in
say
favor?
something? No? How about the little one? Would you like to say something about your new home? Yeah. Oh, yes, ma'am. Okay. All right. Thank you, ma'am. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Just, I always whack myself in the head in the mouth with this. So I didn't. The one concern I have is if we start a lot, because these lots were originally going to have mobile homes on them, and if we allow mobile homes as they sell each one, what is the difference in that and having a mobile home park? You know, if we let one, then we may have to let another one. You know, they're going to think, well, I'll get a variance. You know what I'm saying? These lots were going to be used for mobile homes. Y'all remember the mobile home?
I thought they was gonna be used, he was gonna build housing on it.
No,
The
this is,
builder was gonna build houses on it, is what he said, not mobile homes.
this isn't the same lot for the mobile home park?
No,
ma'am.
there was one that was, that came to us that actually is a lot next to this one,
That one right there.
right there.
So it's the
where
lot
they wanted
next
to
to
put
it.
Several.
mobile homes in there, one person, and then they were gonna rent those out.
Right.
But the original owner of this property
Uh,
that platted it out was gonna build homes
Build
there.
homes there?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Mr. McGurr, you have a question?
Yeah, okay. When Sheree and I first came here, we actually bought one of those 8 lots. Okay, and they changed their contract, and so we said we're going to back out, and that's where we live now, is a different place. But when they contracted that, their own regulation when we bought it was that it had to be a brick and mortar house, that there could not be a manufactured home on that property. So we had to get a contractor to design and get ready to build on that lot. So 715 actually, at one point in time, I was in contract to buy. And when they changed everything, then we backed out. But like Councilman Wiggins said, that contract clearly said we had to build a home. There was not going to be any manufactured homes in there.
That was from the builder.
That
But
was
that's
from the builder.
changed.
Yes.
That's changed, and what I'm hearing,
I don't know if that's changed.
The builder doesn't still own that though, does he?
So it's very possible that deed restrictions were a part of this. However, the city does not have any responsibility or authority to enforce deed restrictions. That'd be up to the-
okay.
Right.
Yep.
Well, we've had 5 citizens say they don't want it, and we've had 2 say they do. So we're, you know, we have an ordinance against bringing in too many manufactured homes into the city. And our citizens are telling us that they don't want more manufactured homes in the city limits. There's a reason for that. Because and in this area, I drove over there earlier today. And there are some nice homes that would be right next to this lot that are very nice homes that were built. And then there are, I think, a couple mobile homes. Well, one is a mobile home, one is a manufactured home, a little ways down, maybe a block or two down the street. One is very nice. She's had it redone. I think we talked about that. So I don't know that it would be an upgrade to the community or be good to put in another manufactured home when you have these very nice, I think one of them is not brick and mortar, but it's a nice home. It's blue, I think. Yes, ma'am.
I just have a question too. All right, I'm listening to when she had it, the councilman. She had it wrote down that so many said yes and one said no or two said no. What I was thinking was, we've sent out several letters to people on this street, and nobody has complained about not wanting it that lives on that street, that actually lives on it. She owns property there. Her son lives there, if I'm not mistaken. Right, okay, your son lives there. And your son, yes ma'am, but your son was, now this is just my listening, okay? But your son said he wasn't against it. And what I say up here doesn't mean one hill of beans whether it will happen or it won't happen. I'm just telling you what I'm hearing, since Councilman McLaughlin said what she heard. Nobody else that lives on that street has said, no, we don't want it. Only person that we heard from said they did want it. It didn't matter to them. The other people that own those real nice homes and stuff, they didn't come up here and say, no, we don't want it. They didn't send us a letter saying they didn't want it. That's what I'm hearing. You know, the people that don't live on that street is who I'm hearing that don't want it. So that's just what I'm saying. I mean, that's just my opinion. You can take $1 and still can't get a cup of coffee. Mr. Wiggins.
I think some of the people that did speak against it that might not live
Yes,
right
sir.
there next to it, but they do live within the city limits.
Yes, sir.
I think they're speaking as a whole in our city. They don't want to see them.
Yes, sir.
If you see one, there's going to be more. If we let one come in there, that big lot next to it, what do you think's going to happen? They're going to want to come to, more likely. Maybe. I don't know. Could be. But, and to the point about the two that's been there, they've been there for years.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. One of them
That
very
that
long
one
time.
been there maybe when I moved here 40 years ago. He probably didn't even have an ordinance back then about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, you know, I do believe in listening to the people, and, you know, I just, you know, it's just something that we have to do, and you know, sometimes it's not popular, but in this case, I just believe that we shouldn't do it.
Okay. Mr. McGrew.
Okay, I fall back on the fact that we have a law, and the law designates where we can and can't have manufactured homes. If we're going to continually take and do variances for that law, let's abolish that law. We have to decide what we want our community to look like, and if we want our community to be manufactured homes, things like this, then fine. Let's quit coming back here for variances and put together a repeal on that ordinance, or let's comply with the ordinance.
For follow up on that, Mayor, I mean, there's variances there for a reason. I mean, they can have a conditional use permit for certain things. And that means you have to come before the council, and we have to have hearings and hear everybody out and then think about it and take action. So I believe that variances can be good, because maybe in some areas that, okay, it's okay, you know? If you have some other manufactured homes, mobile homes, or modular homes in that area, then maybe they fit in. But just because those two down there, that was here many years ago, and the law and the things have changed since then, the ordinances have, then, and we have housing around there, I'm just afraid that if we let one in there, then that lot next to it is gonna have several, yeah.
Okay, do you have a
And that's just my opinion.
Do you have a motion, sir?
Well,
There's two
we have
more.
more
Oh,
people.
2 more people? Okay, all right, let's go with Colton right quick. Then we'll go store here, and then we'll come back this way.
My name's Colton Smith. I actually have a question on something that Mr. McGruer said. It was originally about where this section is. We've walked by it several times. They're a part of an HOA, aren't they?
I have no idea if an HOA
know,
was
honey.
established there.
Ms. Pam, are they a HOA? No, not that I'm aware of. Okay, all right.
Hey, let me just speak to that really, really quickly. They did actually file and register an HOA, and that was what made us pull out of that was the contract said specifically there'd be no HOA. Then they sent us a letter saying, we've already registered the HOA. And I said, well, then we're not in agreement. So they filed it actually with the county. And so it's on record what their HOA is and stuff like that. So as long as the way the HOA was established, until they've sold all 8 lots, the developer is the president of that HOA.
Oh, okay, all right. Okay, anything else, Mr.
No
Cole?
further
Okay,
questions.
yes, sir.
I'm Rick Edmiston. Okay, so the property to the east of this said property, that's where they wanted to put the mobile home, the modular home park, that we'd said no. So if you go ahead and give them this one here, then you're gonna have another one down the street from there, then you're gonna have another one there. All those other lots are gonna all wind up having modular homes on them too. So it's just like, might as well just turn the whole darn street into a modular home district.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I think that he answered.
Answered your question? Okay.
I have so many things to think of. Last time we revisited this, if I remember right, there was 14 acres.
This property specifically is 2.594
I understand
acres.
that, but
Sure.
that whole section, if I remember
other
right,
section,
is
where they
like
wanted the-
14 acres there.
Oh,
And
next
they
to
were
it.
asking
Okay.
Next
last
to it,
time
yes,
to
sir.
turn-
I believe next to it is,
to
something like
turn
that.
all of that into a manufactured mobile home or mobile home park,
Okay.
which,
So- Council did deny that action, sir.
right.
And
that's
that
what I'm
property
saying.
has since been sold to
And
another
now
individual.
we're starting about incrementally, you know, you let the camel's nose under the tent, next thing you know,
Yeah.
like he was talking about, there it goes and blows up.
Right. That property's done been sold to somebody else. The ones that wanted it, they sold it to someone else.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Okay. Do we have a motion? Anybody want to make a motion?
And I will just remind council here that since this is a zoning change request, there does need to be a supermajority. So there's
We
4
have
of
to
you
have all
here
4
tonight.
people.
So all 4 would have to be
On
voting
ball.
in favor for this motion, for this conditional use permit to
Yes.
pass.
Okay. Mr. Wiggins?
Okay. I'll make a motion that we deny the conditional use permit for a manufactured home to be installed at 701 4th Street, Eddy, Texas, 76524, Parkside subdivision. Property currently zoned for single-family residential dwellings.
Okay, Mr. McGruer. All in favor? Unanimous. Okay.
Now can I say something?
Yes, sir, you can say anything you'd like, sir. You've been awful quiet over there.
Yes, I have a hard time voting this way Do you realize how hard it is to get a home nowadays? Any type of home, it doesn't matter what kind it is. Just don't have the money to do it, so people go into modular homes for that reason. I just had a hard time voting for it, but the people said so.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Yes, ma'am?
Is there a way it could be a win-win if they were able to put the mobile home there and brick it in where it become a permanent fixture? Would that solve the problem for everyone? It's just something.
Okay. All right, moving right along. Okay, we have another public hearing.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. It is now 6:46. Our regular council meeting is closed. It is 6:47 and a public hearing is open. A zoning change for single-family dwelling District 1 to General Business Districts 17216 South IH-35 in Bruceville, Texas 76630. Council to hear public comments pertaining to an owner-agent initialized zoning change of property located at 17216 South IH-35 Bruceville, Texas 76630, containing to a total of 4,009.
The comma's in the wrong place, it's 49,000.
Oh, the comma's in the wrong place. Okay, yeah. All right. I was reading it by what I see. 49,213 acres, and further described as being located within the city limits of Bruceville-Eddy, abutting IH-35 in First Street from its current destination of single-family dwelling district to general business district.
No, it's 4.9 acres, not
That's
49.
4.9. Okay. Okay, that's
Yeah,
what I.
it's sure not
That's what I was looking at.
49,000.
You can blame me on that.
4.9. You want my glasses?
I was
That's all. Okay.
You can use mine.
I
Okay,
might,
it's 4.9213 acres. Yeah, okay.
think that's bigger than Bruceville-Eddy.
I think
That's
so.
totally better than Bruceville-Eddy.
Yeah.
But I was willing to read it. Yes. Yeah, 948. Okay. Anybody? No ducking? Okay. It is,
This fella right.
okay, yes, sir.
Is that, I'm trying to think in my mind
Vision
where
where
that is
that's at?
actually at. Okay. There it is.
I believe it's the car lot, isn't it?
No, well,
Is that down by where the old KCN Channel 6 building?
No, sir.
No, this is back, see Woodlawn? Isn't that Woodlawn right there?
That's correct.
Okay. Can you point that Woodlawn out? Where
Oh, I'm sorry. No, that is the creek there.
The creek?
That's the
Woodlawn is right up here.
Okay, yeah.
That-
Yeah,
Yeah.
it used to be a rest stop many years ago, you remember? And now he's got some metal buildings on it.
Yes, sir.
And,
yes.
and he's got a fence, a metal fence, I'll say, kind of a beige
Yes, okay,
color
okay.
around it.
Right.
That's what
Yeah,
it
that's
said.
it.
Okay, well, that's what I was trying to picture
Right.
out what that was.
Yeah.
And- Okay, so it's,
Yeah.
it's actually north.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right before you get to the exit to go into Bruceville.
Okay.
There.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Anybody else have any other comments? Okay. It is now 6:50 and this public hearing is closed. And it is 6:50 and our regular council meeting is back in session. Zoning, number 11, zoning change. See, closing public hearing, zoning change for single family, right here, yeah. Zoning change for single family dwelling District 1 to General Business District 17216 South IH-35 Bruceville, Texas 76630. At the request of the property owner, council discuss, consider, and probably take action to approve ordinance 0662024-1 changing the zoning classification of property located at 17216 South IH-35 in Bruceville, Texas, 76630, containing a total of 4.9213 acres and further described as being located within the city limits of Bruceville-Eddy, abutting South IH-35 and First Street from its current destination of single-family dwelling District 1 to the General Business District, amending the official zoning map of the city of Bruceville-Eddy, McLennan County, Texas, to rightly reflect said changes.
Got that. Mayor, Council, thank you so much. This is a zoning change request. This was requested by the owner. This is a property, as the mayor said it. We're asking for a change from single-family dwelling district number 1 to the general business district. You've got a couple definitions up there for your review. The purpose of this is to allow the property owner to install a billboard. The TxDOT will not approve any permits for properties zoned residential purposes, and from my understanding, this is while it's been used for commercial purposes, it was originally zoned as residential back in 2003. So here's another look at that property map. You can see that we've got First Street that strings along to the south here. And then up here you've got Cow Bayou, south of Cow Bayou Creek. And this is our Crescent Creek subdivision up here to the north. So just a little bit zoomed in section here, and then you can see our zoning map. This is zone single family district. Over here we've got agricultural district. Some pictures of the property. This is from about a year ago. So as required by our zoning ordinance, proper notice of this application and hearing were published in the Waco Tribune-Herald. 4 notices were sent out to adjacent property owners. This property zoning change is consistent with our comprehensive plan, which designates this parcel for regional, commercial, industrial purposes. And with that, I recommend approval.
Do we have any questions? Mr. Wiggins?
Okay, with that, I move that we approve ordinance number 6-2024-1 from zoning classification of single-family dwelling District 1 to general business district.
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay, Joyce? All in favor? Unanimous. Okay, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Number 12,
I make a motion, we adjourn.
you have a second? Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right, Mr. Griffin, second that. All in favor?
I thought you might second that.
I was confused. I was confused.
You were zoned out.
Thank y'all for coming.